We finally got the official casting for Marvel's The Fantastic Four. Here's some concept art of the cast. Now, let's break down who these actors are and where you might know them from. Playing Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, is Pedro Pascal. You know him from Narcos, Game of Thrones, and The Mandalorian. Next, we have Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch, Johnny Storm. You know him as Eddie Munson in Stranger Things Season 4. Playing Johnny's sister, Susan Storm, Invisible Woman, is Vanessa Kirby, who was recently in Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning. And rounding out the cast, we have Eben Moss Backrack from The Bear, who's playing The Thing, Ben Grimm. None of these choices were my first, second, or third picks for my MCU Fantastic Four cast, but I will say it is interesting. I personally don't think the original early 2000s Fantastic Four cast can be topped. I like all of these actors. I'm just not sure if they're the ideal choices for these iconic roles that we've been waiting for the MCU to handle. I can't say it's a downgrade yet. I can't say it's an upgrade. Right now, I just find it to be an interesting ensemble that I'm having a hard time picturing their dynamic, but we'll just have to wait and see. My general impression is that it just feels like popular fan casts randomly picked and put together. I love Pedro Pascal, don't get me wrong, that's Pedrito. But as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, this one I find myself scratching my head the most because it's like, I just don't see him as Reed Richards, honestly. You know, Reed Richards is supposed to be socially awkward, over analytical, and eccentric, and I'm having a difficult time picturing Pedro in this role, but who knows, maybe they saw something, maybe he did something that really impressed them. So I will trust Marvel on this because most of their castings, if not all of them, have been hit. I'm not even 100% sold on Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch, one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. I loved him as Eddie Munson, don't get me wrong, but as Human Torch, I don't know, I have to see it. For Human Torch, I had somebody like Dacre Montgomery, someone like Rudy Panko. Joseph Quinn, I gotta see it. I love the new logo. It feels very retro 60s era, which makes sense because Doctor Strange actually referenced them in the Multiverse of Madness. We also see in the concept art that the Thing is reading something from the 60s, so I think it's going to be very intriguing to see this take place in a different time period. And we'll find out what happened with the Fantastic Four back then. Did they get trapped in the quantum realm and were released after the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? Were they trapped in a different universe this entire time? We'll see. I also love the suits. I'm not sure if it's clothing or if it's spacesuit material, but I love the vibe to this. Out of these choices, which one is your favorite casting for the MCU's Fantastic Four? Let me know in the comments.